Nobody ever got better at sales by reading another book about sales. You get better by picking up the phone. Nobody got better at fighting by watching more film. You get better by taking shots and avoiding shots. So why do you think you're going to get in shape? By watching one more video, trying one more new program, and planning one more perfect week. The truth is, you're not being disciplined, you're procrastinating. And the worst part is, it doesn't feel like procrastination. It feels like you're actually doing the work. You learn by actually doing, not preparing to do. And right now, you're not doing anything. And let me show you exactly what this looks like. I know you really feel like you're putting in the work and studying's paying off. But if I looked at your last 3 months, the actual weights, the actual sessions that you put in, would the numbers actually back that up? For some of you, they might. But my bet is for most of you, they wouldn't. Because a lot of what you've been doing isn't training. It's the feeling of training. You probably spent more time this week researching programs than actually following one. You saved 30 workout posts this month, but how many of them did you actually start? Or even better, actually finish? You probably tried to change your program again. You adjusted your macros again. You reorganized your split again. And these things can be very beneficial, but when you're constantly doing it, that's where the problem really lies. And nothing will change. It's not effort. That's motion without progress. And it's the most dangerous kind of procrastination because it actually feels productive. You end your day thinking you actually put in the work, but the results don't lie. If you can't tell me what weight you lifted last week and what you're going to lift this week, you're honestly just showing up and going through the motions. So I want you to pick a program, any program. Track all your lifts, try to add some weight or some reps every week, and do that for at least 3 months without changing anything. That's the biggest secret out there. You just have to do it longer than you think you need to. I only know this because I was this exact person. When I was studying to become a personal trainer, I did everything right on paper. I read the textbooks, I passed the exam, I got the certification, and then I froze. I had all this information in my head, I had all this knowledge, and that actually made it worse. The more I learned, the more I realized I didn't know anything. And instead of just starting to train people, I told myself I wasn't ready yet. Imposter syndrome, information overload, whatever you want to call it. The studying didn't make me more confident. It actually made me way more hesitant. So you know what I did? I hired a personal trainer. As a personal trainer. Part of it was for my own training and accountability, but I wanted to watch. I wanted to learn how they actually did the job. And I learned so much more in those first few weeks of watching a real trainer work than I did in months of studying for the certification. Because the textbook teaches you theory, and it's great to have that foundation, but actually doing the thing is going to teach you everything else. And this is the part nobody wants to admit. Stop telling me you know what to do. I believe you. So why aren't you actually doing it? Because when it's just you, you will let yourself off the hook. Nobody's checking to see if you actually did the session. Nobody's checking to see if the weight actually went up. Nobody knows if you skipped Thursday and told yourself you were going to make it up on Saturday. You know what to do. You just don't have anyone actually holding you to it. And without that, all the knowledge you have doesn't mean a thing. Because knowledge without accountability is just trivia. And this is how I'll prove it to you. I went to college for 3 years for sports administration. Textbooks, exams, case studies. I barely use any of it today. And this isn't me hating on school. I do think it's very important. But not a single thing in that classroom applies to what I do right now. But funny enough, when I was 20 years old, I got a door-to-door sales job. I probably only did it for somewhere from 4 to 6 months. No classroom, no textbook, no, here's the 10-step framework. Just go knock on doors and make sales. And there was nowhere to hide. You either performed and made money, or you didn't and you went home broke that day. The numbers were simply the numbers. Nobody cared how much you studied the pitch. They just cared if you closed. And I learned more about business, communication, rejection, discipline, all in that one job. And that 4 to 6 months of experience smoked the 3 years of schooling I had. Because I was actually doing the thing. I wasn't reading about it. I wasn't preparing for it. I was actually doing it. And not only was someone watching, but my income depended on it. Your fitness is the exact same thing. You've watched enough videos. You've saved enough programs. You've probably read too much about macros, periodization, recovery. So you don't have a knowledge problem. You have an action problem. And the fastest way to fix an action problem is to put someone in the room with you who won't let you fake it. That's exactly what accountability does. It turns everything you know into what you actually do. There's a quote by Aristotle I love that represents this perfectly. For the things we have to learn before we can do them, we learn by doing them. That was said over 2,000 years ago, and a lot of us are still making the same mistake. We think learning comes before doing. It doesn't. Doing is the learning. You've been studying for a test you keep refusing to take. Every video you watch, every program you bookmark, every warm-up you stretch out to for 30 minutes, that's not preparation. That's avoidance wearing a gym shirt. And here's the thing. You're not doing this because you're lazy. There's nothing wrong with studying and watching film, but you're doing all this because you're scared. Scared that this simple plan just isn't going to be enough. Scared that if you actually commit and it doesn't work, then you're going to have to sit there and face the real reason. So you keep researching, you keep tweaking things, you keep saying you're not ready yet, you keep optimizing something that you've never actually tested. The funny thing is, when a new client comes to me and they're doing all this, the first thing I do is strip away everything. We go right back to the basics, the fundamentals, the movement patterns, the simple habits. Show up to the sessions and do the work. And that's really it. No fancy periodization, no 30-minute mobility circuits, no new program every month. Just the basics done consistently. And every single time, that's when they finally start to see results. They finally say, wow, I've never felt this strong before. Or wow, I'm finally starting to see my biceps grow. And yeah, I completely get the irony. You're watching a video right now about how watching videos isn't the answer. So let this be the last one you watch before you actually go do something. Supplement videos and information like this while you're actually doing the thing. I'm serious. Put the phone down, close the app, go to the gym, hit your workout, get a good meal in you, and go to sleep. That's a great day right there, regardless of what your workout program was. And you'll learn way more from that one session than from the next 10 videos you'll watch. You don't learn to sell by reading about sales. You don't learn to fight by watching film. And you don't get in shape by consuming more fitness content. You get in shape by actually doing the work.